Okay, hello all. Hope you can hear me well. Welcome to the Muscle Monitor version 2.1 webinar. For those of you who haven't met me, my name is Olga and I'm marketing manager at Myontech. Been here for almost a year now. The agenda for today is quite simple. I'm gonna basically do the small introduction. Then I will give the stage to Sami Kumpulainen. He's our head of our support, and he will take you step by step through the Muscle Monitor version 2.1 and new features, and then maybe we will be able to analyze some data. After that, we will have a questions and answers session. Unfortunately, I'm recording this webinar, so I have to have you all unmuted, but there should be a tab for questions on your control panel. You can type your question there, and after Sami is done with his session, I can go through the questions and we will try to answer all of them as truly as possible. Okay, so I think that we can actually start, and Sami, if you could take the stage.
Okay, hello everybody. As Olga mentioned, Sami Kumpulainen is the name, and I'm one of the head developers of Muscle Monitor. And today's agenda is to go through the new changes and have a quick overview of the software. I'm not actually quite sure if everyone is already familiar with the version 2.0, but hopefully I can go through this in a way so that you can get a good understanding of the software, even if you are totally new or you have already some experience from the old version. Okay, so I hope that everyone can see what I'm sharing. Just a quick look with the PowerPoint, and then we'll go through to the software. What is new in the version 2.1? First of all, we have spent quite a bit of time with experiencing on this kind of muscle load fatigue point or fatigue threshold, at which level the muscle starts to get fatigued and how much effort you can put to your exercise before that happens. So you can run through this kind of MFT test now in the software, and also you can divide this muscle load to these kind of zones, much like with the heart rate. There is usually it is divided to five different zones. Okay, then we'll have a quick look onto the problem detection feature, lab comparison, follow-up, multiplayer features, and go through the UI changes. But I'll get to this very soon. Of course, there's been a lot of small changes and improvements on how the software works. I'll try to cover this as much as possible, but not every small detail is shown today. But yeah, we'll get the patch notes and release changes available when the software is released officially. Okay, this is the frame for the presentation today. So we'll start with the basics. We'll pair up the devices, Then we'll create a new trainee or user, however you wish to call it, edit those basic parameters. Then we'll start a new real-time measurement, and also we'll see how it works with multiple trainees simultaneously. A quick look to autolaps and alerts. These are already familiar from the previous version, so we'll go through these quickly. Okay, then we'll cover at least the main feature changes. I'll try to show you some data and good examples with these. Also, quick look at importing or adding other data to the EMG. Known issues, and lastly, if you have questions, I'll try to answer, of course. Okay. Muscle Monitor 2.1. We have been running some beta testing for about a month now, so some of you might be actually more familiar with the interface already, but this is how it looks like today. So we have this kind of launch screen. This is how it looks like when you start the software. Info button at the bottom right screen, where you can check the user guide and some other tutorials and instructions. It will take you to the another web page, but we'll update that as much as possible in the coming days. Okay. Yeah, we'll start up with pairing the devices to this software, which is the bare minimum required for you to make a new measurement. We'll go to the settings, which is at the bottom left screen. Click it. It is divided to, the settings are divided to 3 sections: devices, preferences, and system. Preferences has some few options. We'll go through this later, but now we are interested in the devices. And under here we have the MCell. Also, you can pair up heart rate and power devices if you wish. Bluetooth Smart is required for all of these. Okay, I should have 2 MCells running. We can try to search for them. This might take a few seconds. It will scan every nearby Bluetooth device in the room. Okay, actually we have only one now. This is not actually what I want. Yeah, sorry. I needed to attach the Bluetooth dongle. Yeah, sorry, demo effect. Okay, I will quickly restart this. Now it will hopefully work out better. Okay, yeah. So yeah, we actually have one MCell classic device in the list, and actually 3 smart devices now. And I'll select one of these, click Save. Both MCell Classic and MCell Smart are still supported normally, and both should work. I saved the device. It will show me some basic information regarding the device, but you don't have to worry about this. If we get this text filled, then it should be okay. Okay, I can go back from the settings now, and I can actually go and pick a new trainee. I have one selected earlier, but I will show you the page. So basically, from the top, we can add a new trainees or delete previous ones. I already have some made, but we can make a new one for today's presentation. And it will be added to the list. It will only ask for a first and last name or ID or whatever you wanna call your trainees. When we have selected a trainee, these three options are available. Actually, if none is selected, these won't be shown at all, because for each of these we need a selected trainee. The first one is to make a new real-time measurement, which we will be doing next. The second one is archive results list. This will show in a list all your measurement data, and also it will have a few other features we'll go through soon enough. And the third is editing the trainee parameters. And actually I can do one change here. We could edit this weight and height and everything we wish, but we won't go there yet. But I can select that for this trainee, my preferred M cell is this one. Or actually, we prepared this one before, so we can use this. Okay. And actually, because I will be showing you the multiplayer feature, we can make one more trainee. I'll give it a similar name, select it, and now I'll give this another device. Okay. Next, we will be making a new real-time measurement. This is the window that appears before the measurement is started, where you can select a sport, what you are doing, and then the devices we wish to use. Also, all the labs and alerts are available. We'll go through this shortly. Okay, so my device is selected. I'll press start. And I will be thrown into this kind of measurement page. From the top screen, I can start the measurement, or I can edit the view a little bit. For example, I can show labs, or I can hide results, signals, and so on. Also, I can select what I want to see during the measurement, but later to this. Okay, so now it shows you that this measurement is for this trainee, and also it will show you the time the measurement started. And I can start the measurement. For now, this signal is only noise, so we don't have anyone running in this room at the moment. So this is just a zero signal, and I can generate some more noise to the device. But now I can also, if I wanna see what the other athlete is doing, I can just go and select another trainee and go back to the real-time measurement. I can then take a new measurement and connect to this other device. Click Start. Oh, another demo effect. Let's see. It should be available. Wrong device. So I have to pay more attention to this. Okay. So now I have two M cells running. This would be my another athlete, and every time I wish, I can check how the other one is doing. So he is running his own measurement, and I can switch to another player when I see fit. Okay, so this is the basic idea on how you will be running a new real-time measurements. The clock is ticking. Also, the overview shows you the general idea on what has been going on in the training. The signals will show you what is happening in the last 20 seconds. And also we have numerical data and some bar graph information on the side. I will cover this soon enough, but not quite yet. Also, we have notes button where you can make notes, and this will be saved. Okay, when I'm done with the measurement, I can just stop it. There's a small delay. I can confirm my sport, give it a short description, and then, well, if I am not satisfied with the measurement, I can just discard it and forget it, or I can save it. Also, if I would be doing this kind of short measurements in a rapid succession, I could start immediately a new measurement with the same parameters. But I won't be doing that now. Okay, I'll just save this. And also, I can go and stop the other measurement also. Like this. Okay. Now I can go to the archive, and I will be seeing that I have saved my real-time measurement I just made, and it will be found in this list. Now what I can do, I can actually load this file and open how it will look like, and we will do that very soon. I can also edit some basic information regarding the file. I can edit the timestamp. I can change the sport and description, or I can delete the file if I won't be needing it anymore. Also, we can append some external data to this file. I will show you this in the end of this tutorial. Okay. We can load actually this file now, or yeah. No, I don't need. I can actually already skip to another exercise. Okay, so this is where we are at this moment. I didn't actually use the auto labs yet. I can go through this in the end. Okay, so we have made a new measurement. Now we will be checking the new features. I can actually show you with another data we already have made previously, because this was just simple noise, so this isn't a good data. Okay. Some changes to the charts and controls, how this can be opened up. So I could pop this measurement totally to a new window, so I wouldn't have any of these side frames. But we can open it to the same window and slide these to make more room, or I can double click it. So I can most of the screen for this measurement. The view is divided mostly to five different charts. So we have the overview chart, we have the signals chart below, then we have the results view, problem detection view, and labs. And most of this kind of settings button at the top left corner, and if you click it, you can see some preferences or settings regarding that single chart. Also, we have some buttons at the top header row, which affect somehow what you can see or what you can do with the file. Okay, but we'll go through the new features first. What we have first on the list was the problem detection, and it is mostly regarding this problem detection chart. We have been asked a lot of times to give some kind of preferences regarding the muscle balance, on what balance is good and bad between toes. Some basics regarding toes, and we have started to use this kind of traffic light system. So simply put, either the balance can be good, which is shown as green, it can be fair, or some issues, which is shown with yellow, and if the balance is very poor, then it will be shown in red. And another section besides the balance is this kind of relax value, which will show you how your muscles are relaxing between the working cycles. Okay, so I will first go through the balance. So this shows how the muscle load is distributed between each single muscle. And we have 4 muscles: left quadriceps, right, left hamstrings, and right hamstrings. Okay. And I can quickly select from the labs and switch the selection like this. And every time I switch the selection, you can see where the selection area is. And also the values always change to reflect values from that area. Okay, so I can quickly select different areas in this measurement, and I can see how the distribution changes between labs or in time. Okay. Also, this shows the distribution between all muscles. I can still look the balance left and right and quadriceps to hamstrings ratio. But also we have this kind of muscle group balance, which now shows the balance between, for example, if we want to see balance in quadriceps, I can see that left quadriceps contributes 45% versus the right quadriceps, which contributes a bit more. So this always calculates that one muscle group and compares it between left and the right leg. And this is left hamstrings compared to right hamstrings. And actually, always the balance is calculated, or the problem detection is always calculated from the muscle group balance. So this is now between the green lines, so the balance is green, and so on. Okay, so I can go through this measurement quickly. This is a professional triathlete, I think, and he's done some cycling, incremental cycling test in this case. And the further I go, I can see some difference or some changes in the quadriceps balance. The hamstrings are okay. It balances out, and the balance stays quite good until the very end. So in the last 2 minutes, you can see that the balance in hamstrings gets quite bad. But this is one way to look at this balance. Also, I will make a slight jump to this overview chart, how you could see it in here. We had it muscle group balances chart, and I can see the same now in the overview chart. So this should it will be shown in here. This is you see also that in here it is a bit yellow. I think it was this lab. Yeah, it's also yellow in here. Quite well balanced before the end. And actually in the end, the quads balance was good. But instead, if we select the hams balance, it's pretty bad in the end. But these are some basic guidelines on how you. I think we will be making some material regarding the problem detection, so you can get the exact values on when it will change to yellow and when it will change to red. But this is to give you the idea regarding that. Okay, tender relaxation. This was some from not so good runner, but this is running data, and I can actually, this is an incremental test also, so you can see that the speed in the beginning it's quite well, it's lower, but it keeps rising, and the same happens with the heart rate and muscle load. And there was actually some lactate testing in between, so everything stops at these points. But I can now take the relax value and see if the muscles are relaxed between each lap. Looks quite okay. Also, this goes with the same idea, so it's either green, yellow, or red. And I think that yellow threshold was 12 microvolts, and the red is 20. Third lap, very small change up. In the fourth lap, it's already rising a bit, not much, but in the last lap, we can see that especially in the hamstrings, the muscle relaxation gets a bit edgy. And how you can actually see it in data roughly, it's if you see the values very low, you can even zoom in if you wish. Well, actually, I can take the scale a bit back. So this is what happens in the very short time span. So and if I scale it down, I can see that in the end, these passive bases, the values won't go near zero, they stay a bit elevated. So that is the basic idea how it will be calculated in here. Okay. If you have more questions regarding those, you can ask them in the end. But I will move on for now. The next was lab view and MFT and zones. I can actually use the same cycling data I used before. Things regarding those tests, the material is building up, and I'm sure that it is available shortly. But this is an incremental cycling test where you start out, and this cyclist, I think he started with 60 watts and 30 watts increase every 2 minutes, like this. And that is one eligible protocol for this cycling test to find out the muscle fatigue threshold. And I can click this MFT test, select sport, this kind of professional, or if you are an athlete or recreational athlete, and then you can select the test. And for now, this is the incremental ergo test. We also have this kind of more general test for all kind of different sports. Okay, I'll just select when the test started and when the test ended, and press calculate. it will prompt me to save these results. Yes, I can do that, and you get some brief results regarding what it was the evaluated muscle fatigue threshold in microvolts. Also, when we have the MFT, it will calculate also the muscle load zones for you to follow. Okay, so what now? We can go to the overview chart and find the zones, and we can overlay these muscle load zones now to this whole exercise. And of course, these zones are now available for every indoor cycling sport measurement you will be making. So in the coming exercises, you can try to follow these zones if you wish, and see in what muscle load zone you are working in. And now we can actually see that in the beginning it was already close to zone 2, briefly on zone 1, and as the exercise keeps going, also the muscle load changes to zone 3 and eventually to zone 4, and somewhere in here is the evaluated muscle fatigue threshold, which is actually shown in the orange horizontal bar. And for this athlete, the muscle fatigue is somewhere at 270 watts or so. And above that is already zone 5, which is already in quite critical point. Okay, so this is one way how you can evaluate your muscle fatigue threshold and how you can overlay the zones in the overview chart. Also, you can actually find these parameters in the personal preferences or settings. There's the metrics, and you can see the muscle load zones. And if you are comfortable, you can actually edit them manually, or another way is to do this kind of test, and it will set it for you automatically. Okay, but I will open this file once more. Another thing what you can do with the labs is we have this kind of lab comparison now, and regarding that, as I showed you before, I can select an area from this lab list. But as you can see, if I click the bottom one, there isn't actually a lab showing for this area which is after the test. This is because now I can also lab out these uninteresting areas and hide them from my view altogether. So, for example, if I'm not interested in the second last lab, I can thumb it down like this, and it will disappear from the list. Of course, if I wanna get it back, I can check from the bottom, from the top, that I can show all labs, even the uninteresting ones. And now I can actually find that the last lab is actually in here, and also the lab 9 is here. So you can get the most interesting parts of your exercise to be more visible like this. But the other where you can notice this, if we go to the lab view. So this is basically the main view, what we are seeing right now. Then we have the lab view. And this is a simple view that will show you what is happening in each lab. So you can get one average number from each of the labs, and it will be shown in here. So this is a nice way how you can see how the exercise has trended out in the measurements. Also, from the top there are some controls, and now I can see that these are already checked out. These are the same labs I checked as uninteresting, but I can get them back if I want. And I want the labs 9 back. Also, sources I can check the heart rate, power, total muscle load, and I can even get every single channel if I wish. So now it's very easy to compare what is happening between the labs in the measurement. And also you can cut out those parts you don't wish to have or see. Okay. No. So yeah, the other controls in the top, these are just to show and hide the charts. So if you want to have more room for some specific chart, I can click these, and now I can only see the signals chart. In the signals chart, this is new feature, so you can even uncheck those channels you don't wish to see. So this is one way to make very much room for those channels you are interested in, like this. Also, new features. Well, the old ones are that you can scale the charts, of course. You can double click to unzoom. You can scroll to zoom. Now you can actually keep the right button pressed and pan it sideways, like this. I can make more room. If I'm zoomed in very close, I can just hold my right mouse button and pan and move the view forwards and backwards. These are more of the small changes that has happened. Also, the results numerical list is a bit different now. You can actually select these values and copy paste them as you normally would, copy paste text and so on. Also, well, not in this exercise, but you can actually see the speed and distance in here now too. And we have made some stylizations the user interface in here. The relaxation values can be seen in here, and also the single channel values. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Follow up. So, I'm sorry I didn't have the time to make this kind of good database for follow-up, but the follow-up means basically that between the measurements, I just showed you how you can compare data between labs in a single exercise. Follow-up is so that you can compare what is happening between measurements and between files. It is in the archive, and the second selection shows you follow-up. Right now I have only 3 data for this training, so it will only show my 3 data in this follow-up section also. But what this does is you can filter out with some parameters what data you want to see from this training and how the key parameters have changed or evolved in your training. So right now I have muzzle load selected in the y-axis and date selected in the x-axis. And now I can see that each of my exercise I have exercised with this muzzle load in this stage. I can also change the parameters in the x-axis, so I can see how my muzzle load have progressed compared against heart rate, for example. No trend in here. Yeah, the database isn't very good for this to show this feature nicely, but if you have more data where you have done with the same things repeated over and over again, you can see how the parameters change between in the training. Okay, and as I mentioned, you can filter the data, so it will only show you, for example, indoor cycling. I had 1 indoor cycling only, and I can filter it by time, so I want to see only the last 90 days, only 1, or I can select a custom time range for this. Also, it will show you the average data found from here. Okay, moving on. Importing and exporting, small changes to these. Mostly they are for error checks and so on. Export has improved a bit, so they are more clear what it exports, and also the importing has changed a bit. The last section in the top in the archive is the import actually, and there are 2 options in here. Either you can download data from your MCell, which you can do, so you can store the measurements in the MCell and then transfer these to the muscle monitor. Or then you can import this kind of very old muscle monitor hex files, 1.0, and embody live files. Okay, this hasn't changed from the last version. I will quickly show the connection with the MCell. Let's see. Let's see now. Because this is an MCell Smart, I have to use the USB cable for this. Something strange with the cord. Sorry. Okay, it should be this device. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, I cannot show you, but I attached the cord to the MCell. Just made sure that the blue light is blinking. So I pressed the push button, and then I just pressed connect and now it will show my stored data in this MCell, and also some basic information regarding the MCell itself, so the real-time clock, battery level, how much memory is free and how much is used. And I can transfer data just by selecting the file and then downloading it like this. And it should appear in the my result list. Okay. One other feature was to append some external data to this EMG. For example, in this file, I have some EMG data recorded, but nothing else. So it's only EMG signal. And how I could append some other data to this? This should be a file I have. When I made this is my personal data. I also recorded my heart rate and GPS information with a Polar smartwatch. I can see the data in Polar Flow. Polar is one, Suunto is also, and I'm sure that other common this kind of sports platforms allows you to export your files with the CSV. Polar is one, so I can click this one and take this exercise as a CSV file like this. I can get this kind of data out, and what I can do is I can modify this file a bit. This is manual label also, and if I have a file like this where I have header row and then the data rows below those header rows with a separator like this, I can append the EMG data with all of these heart rate, speed, cadence, and distance data also. And how it happens is if I select my file, click edit, I showed you this add data CSV. I should be able to do that. I hope. It should be in here. Says it was successful. I click OK and save. Change is saved. Sorry. Okay, so it says that it was successful. If I now check the summary, it says that now it has speed, cadence, and heart rate evaluated. And if I open the file, I can actually see that everything new information is now available in here. So now I could compare easily how my muscle load has evolved regarding some other parameter, for example cadence or heart rate or speed. Also, well, this hasn't changed, but also with the custom graph, you can now divide your muscle load, for example, with heart rate and get it calculated as this kind of custom graph, like this. Okay, that's pretty much about it. We have covered the trainee selection and adding new trainees. We have covered the real-time measurement. I did not cover the autolaps and alerts, but this is basically just the autolaps are just you can set a time, and the software makes an autolap every time the interval is reached. So if I put 1 minute here, it will make me an autolap every 1 minute. And alerts are that every time you reach your muscle load threshold, if you can remember the MFT test, so every time you go above your muscle load threshold, you can get a notification and it will be shown in the result list as a red color in here. And if you wish, you can get a sound alert also. But this hasn't changed in 2.1, it was already available in 2.0. Okay, yeah, we have covered the real-time measurement. We have covered the archive, so we have exercise list. We covered the follow-up and importing briefly. Okay, the last one was export, but there isn't much special in that, so you can select a file, or choose how you want to export the data or what data you wish to export. For example, I could wish that I want to see the muscle load, heart rate, power, cadence, so the key parameters, or I can get it so that it's more focused on balance and distribution, or then I can export the signal file, which is the rapidly changing information from all muscle channels. I can just click export and it will prompt me to select the location for my file. And it will be shown like this. This can be opened in Microsoft Excel, for example, but I have just another software running now. Okay, then we quickly covered these trainee parameters. So you can select a preferred devices. What this means is that you always have this preferred device selected by default when you start a new measurement. So if you have a trainee which always uses the same device, you can always set that. Then you can see the muscle load zones, and you can edit them manually if you will, and some basic parameters. We have the main page. You can get some news in the left page, but as I mentioned in the beginning, in the bottom right corner, you can check for updates, and you can go and check the user guide. Also, some sort of tutorial videos will be uploaded very shortly. And lastly, the settings, where we can add new devices or change some basic preferences. For example, I can select that every time the muscle monitor starts, my last trainee is always selected in the beginning. Okay, that's pretty much about it. Some known issues that we have had, maybe two more serious ones, and few not so serious ones. One was especially present in the version 2.0. So when you installed the software and tried to pair new MCell smart devices, you couldn't do that because the Bluetooth driver wouldn't install correctly, and you sometimes had to manually check if the Bluetooth driver was installed okay. So you had to go to the device manager, go under ports and search for this Blue Giga Bluetooth low energy. And if it was something else, then you had to manually update the driver. But this should be at least hopefully and at least partially fixed in the new version, that when you install 2.1, it will be forced to install, you will be asked if you wish to install Blue Giga drivers at the same time as you install the muscle monitor. And after that, when you plug in the Bluetooth dongle, it should have the correct drivers installed always. Another thing is, some might be aware of this, maybe most of you not so much, but the driver which writes the data from the Bluetooth to the files. So when you are making a new real-time measurement, your measurement data is always constantly stored to a hard drive. But if it was so that when you go your documents folder, MyOnTech, muscle monitor, user data, and this is where the data is actually stored from your measurements. But now if your documents folder was in a network drive and not in a physical drive, it might have been that it had trouble writing to that location. So every time you made a new measurement, it stopped instantly. So when you started a new measurement, it always stopped as soon as it started, because it couldn't write to that network location. This is actually still present. We are working on a fix on that, but we are a bit more wiser regarding that problem at the moment. But at this point, it is most preferred if your documents folder is in your C drive or physical hard drive and not in a network path. So you can check it if you right click on the documents and take properties, and it will show you the location. Okay. Even with this multiplayer features, there is this kind of limitation that the Bluetooth dongle only accepts 3 simultaneous Bluetooth connections, and this is still a problem if you take it so that you are only allowed 3 simultaneous connections still. We are at the moment evaluating, and if the customers see that we should have more connections, we can try to get the so we could use more dongles at the same time. So you would have 3 simultaneous connections for each dongle, you attach. At this moment, it is not possible because you only can have one dongle working. Of course, we are always keeping eye if the Blue Giga is making changes to the firmware, so the dongle would accept more connections. Another thing is when Microsoft now released Windows 10 and they came up with this kind of universal Windows projects, they might have some native libraries for Bluetooth smart connections. So we are evaluating if we could use that and get rid of the dongle for good and use Microsoft's own libraries with the connection. But this is still in the future. Some issues with the MCell smart connection strength. So some people have noticed that if the connection or the signal from the MCell to muscle monitor wasn't perfect, it could shut down the connection and end the measurement for apparently no good reason. And we have actually managed to adjust some parameters so the connection is now kept alive more better, and it is not so disturbed if some small signal small errors or the signal strength is not so good for a short time. So that is now resolved, and I think we can. It was already made public in the latest beta builds, and it looks good now. Of course, there is still a problem that the Bluetooth signal is interrupted if the pathway is blocked by human or somehow there is not a good path between the PC and MCell Smart, but it's better now. Okay. Thank you for listening. I think that pretty much covers up the software. I still consider it quite a simple software to use. Of course, the data, there is a lot of data, and the signals in itself it's complex enough. So, but yeah, Olga, I think you can take in if we have questions now or any other comments.
Yes, thank you, Sami.
So
we actually have 2 questions, and you can, if you could check your control panel on the question tab. So there is one from Italy. The labs, how can they be created a protocol with several labs? Is it possible to create a protocol with labs or not?
Yeah. Just a second. Creating, I'm not quite sure. Could you specify more on how to create a protocol with several labs? So you can you have to manually add the labs if you make a new real-time measurement. You have to specify the protocol what you want to do, and the labs has to be added manually or with the auto labs. and you can add the labs from the MSEL or from the overview chart, like this. Does this answer your question, or?
Well, we will.
Okay, we'll move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's move on to the next question. And Alphonse, if you still have more questions regarding that, please contact me after this, and I'll try to answer you then. Okay, so Tom's question is next. What are the key requirements? Yes, they are actually they are the user guide that will be attached with the software. I wonder if I can quickly look them up. So you will be shared with this kind of user manual. This is this kind of long manual, 30 pages. I of course hope that everyone could visit this at some point. Of course, I know that it isn't always so interesting to read very long manuals, but it could have some nice information also. So these are the hardware requirements at this point, and I'm sorry that it is not Mac compatible at this point. So it's Windows only. Yeah.
Okay. The next.
I'm not sure about virtual machines and so on, but no, it's not Mac compatible. Yeah, the next one is the absolute values in the problem detection section. Yeah, this is actually because in the 2.0 version there is actually the absolute values. I think they will be added back, but at the moment it will only show you the percentual value. So if you select an area, in here it's percentual. Actually in the results list you can see the absolute values for each channel. But in here it's only percentual. This might come back actually. If not for the release, it might come back in the later patches. Yeah. Okay. Sean has asked, can you show the problem with the Bluetooth again? And some advices with the Bluetooth connector to buy. Okay. Yes, I can try to show it to you quickly. And regarding which Bluetooth adapter to get, it has to be this one. It is also mentioned in the user guide. So it has to be this one, and we should always mention it. When you buy a license for the muscle monitor, you will get one of these dongles from Myontech. But you can always order more yourself. You can get them from a few online stores at least. Yeah, we can give you more information on where to get these but it has to be this one specific model. Only this will do. The problem in itself I will quickly go this through again, because I know this has been many of you might have actually came in contact with this problem. So basically, of course, my drivers are now correctly installed, but when I detach the dongle like this, the Blue Giga device disappears from this ports list in the device manager. And when I plug in the dongle back, a new device should appear. Let's see now. It should appear. Okay, it's not coming back. But you can actually try to see which device appears when you attach the dongle back. And if it does not say Blue Giga Bluetooth low energy like this, you can still select it. It can be some kind of like USB serial device, or then it can have this kind of exclamation mark that it cannot install any drivers. We have actually a quite good document on how to do this. So you right click the device that appears, click update driver software, then you manually browse, and it should always point to this location, program files, Myotech, muscle monitor. This is where your software is always installed, and then that's just drivers, and click next, and it will install this Blue Giga drivers, and it should have always this text, and then it should be okay. Start the software again, and it should find the dongle and then the M-cell devices. Okay. Then Tom has asked, are the problem detection zones validated or just guidelines? We have actually material coming for that. I don't think I can actually answer that thoroughly right now, but yes, we have done actually quite a lot of testing regarding the muscle fatigue threshold, and there is definitely a scientific background for that. So we can give you also the validation document, and we have material coming regarding that. Specifically about the zones, actually I can't answer you that myself, but I'm sure it will be in the material just as the muscle fatigue threshold. So yeah, we have material coming about that. Yeah, another question about the protocols for the MFT tests. Yeah, we have instructions actually coming for that. So I can't remember the exact specifics, but we have the general MFT tests, and then we have more specific tests for cycling and running. and the specific instructions are outcome. Yeah, for cycling, it's basically that you set the baseline, and then the resistance will increase every 2 minutes. I think it's 30 watts and until exhaustion. But yeah, instructions are coming. Do the problem detection target zone change between sports. The zones and the muscle fatigue threshold is specific. So for each sport, you can have your own zones and muscle load fatigue threshold. But the problem detection does not take into account the muscle fatigue threshold. Problem detection only monitors your muscle load balance and the muscle relaxation values. What is the time storage on the M-Cell? M-Cell Smart is a lot. I think it was nearly 100 hours. I think it was quite a lot. If you have older M-Cell Classic, then those M-Cells can only store for about 7 hours or so. But the M-Cell Smart, so if you check the back label, it says MBMS / and then 5 digits, then it's M-Cell Smart. And it also has the Bluetooth Smart logo. Then it is a M-Cell Smart, and the storage hours is quite a lot. I think it was something like 100 hours. Any news on the 6-channel app? Besides Muscle Monitor, and if you mean mobile apps, no, the date is not set yet. You can actually, we'd have to check from the either from the sales or product manager about that. So I cannot give you any date for that. Is it possible to have 2.1 trial licenses for potential customers? If you have trial codes, they should work normally in 2.1, but I'm sure that the sales will be happy to provide you with some trial licenses for potential customers. At least it has done so far. So yeah, I'm quite sure that you can get some trial licenses to test the software out.
Yes, we're actually having the same 14 days free trial policy as with the previous version of Muscle Monitor. So that hasn't changed. All you need to do is simply ask for the trial code, and then of course, Muscle Monitor will require the Bluetooth dongle, and that can create a problem. But we can discuss about it in separate cases. So it's possible.
Yeah, that is of course when you give the software out for testing. It usually requires the M-Cell and it requires the dongle for real-time measurements. Of course, you can store data to M-Cell and transfer the data then with the cable and check the offline data. But for real-time measurements, you need the dongle also. And few more. Is it possible to insert in manual mode the values of heart rate, load, or velocity without automatic connection? In a way, yes, it is possible. I showed you the file quickly I got out from the Polar system. It looked like this. So bunch of data with lots of numbers. But if you make this kind of data file, the exact parameters what the muscle monitor accepts can be found in the user guide. But if you have in the first row this what you have, heart rate, speed, cadence, distance, and then you just give values like this. So this is time in seconds, 10 my heart rate, 10 my speed, 10 my cadence, and 10 my distance. And for each second you insert the data. Then you can add it to your file. Yeah. So these are the keys. So the time has to be in seconds elapsed, and then you can select whatever you wish. You can only, for example, give heart rate. Only put heart rate and then the heart rate values. And you don't need these at all if you don't want. But yeah, each data point is added for each second. So that's the only limitation in a way that if you wish to manually insert the data, you have to do it for each second. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I think that's the questions so far. We'll be in touch with Tom with file keys. I'm sure. Can you Olga take care of that?
Yes, well, thank you all for participating. I have a recording of this webinar, which I will send to all of you via email, and it will also be added to a partner's Dropbox. So you can always come back to what we've been going through here. David Tombarte will probably be in touch with you regarding the new muscle monitor materials and promotion materials and use cases and other things that might help you with the actual selling of the product and of the software. And if you have more questions, if you will come up with something, please don't hesitate to contact, well, any one of us. Basically, we'll try our best to help you solve your problems or answer your questions. And that was it for today.
Yeah.
Thank you for
One quick notice. The release is very soon, maybe on this week. And for those who participated to the beta, the new muscle monitor 2.1 will, of course, it will override the old one. And so you can actually remove the beta version by 10 when the release is made. So it will install 10 on top of your 2.0 version. Okay, that's it.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
See you. Bye-bye.